See, when you invest in something and you hustle and you work for something, you got a different type of attachment to it. You're going to have a cold day of hell for somebody trying to take this from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat. Every man must search his own soul. I listen to that quote every morning.
Mr. 180's in the building. Let's go. We go live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. 180. You already know what time it is. I'm all smiles because I missed y'all, man. I missed y'all. Listen, we need you to get on your phone, turn on those post notifications, hit that share button, hit that like button. I know you're streaming from 180 Live 180 Show and from YouTube, so we need you to tell us that you're here by hitting that like button. Lets me know, it sends me an alert, tells me that you're here. Listen, we're going to get people on the live, but I got a special guest waiting in the lobby. So I need you to call somebody up. Let them know Mr. 180 and the 180 Show is on the air right now. Listen. It's been a long week. And we need you to go ahead and click in with us and let us know, hey, listen, I'm tuned in with you, and I'm here, I'm rocking, I'm rolling, and I'm hitting that share button. But look, we ain't gonna let them sit out in the lobby long. Y'all have seen her as an author, as a motivational speaker, and now the front cover of 180 Life Enterprise magazine for May. Y'all make some noise, shoot up some hearts for Miss Delsina West. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm alive and well. Hey, every day you're above ground is a good day, right?
That's what I'm talking about. So we shooting the share button on our side. We want you to shoot it on your side, but we want you to tell everybody who you are, where you from, what you got going on.
All right. So my name is Delsina. I am a newly published author of my book, Sexy Senior Citizen. I've been in the business of fitness and nutrition and coaching for a long time, but that's a boring story. Let me tell you a little bit about why I decided to get into writing. I consider myself an old soul, right? I'm over 50. Actually, okay, let me tell you, I'm 58 years old. And so I have my favorite person, or my mentor, and my most adored person, my grandmother, who is 98 soon, is the inspiration to the reason why I wrote the book, Sexy Senior Citizen.
Wow.
Yeah, she is. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling a little bit kind of a little down in the dumps because I just learned that she is ill. And she used to be one of those people, I don't know, many of you probably have in your family that matriarch, that woman that you go to for all the answers. And if you're having squabbles in your family, you call her and she decides everything. And she's the one that has all the answers.
Yes, ma'am.
She was that person. And she would shut it down in no time. And she used to always tell me that she never considered herself old. As a matter of fact, when she was in her 80s, she used to catch the bus by herself and go to the Senior Citizen Center and teach the old people how to crochet. And she was always a stylish person. So I thought, you know what, as we're getting older, as women, even men, we start to kind of get down on ourselves. We start thinking about, what I used to be, what I used to be able to do. I'm too busy taking care of the family. I'm busy taking care of the husband. I'm busy taking care of church, or all the things around us. And we tend to forget ourselves, right? We put ourselves behind and we think, okay, I'm getting older, so that means I need to just kind of forget about myself. Or we let ourselves get out of shape. Or we let ourselves stop feeling, really vibrant and excited.
Right.
So I thought, let me write this book about still having that, like, how, got a groove back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I said, let me write this book so we can get our groove back. And so the idea behind Sexy Senior Citizen is, after we start taking care of everybody, we still have so much more life to live. And we should live it to the best of our ability. Just because you get older doesn't mean stop putting on perfume. Stop wearing your high heels. Stop putting on the lipstick. Stop looking good. Stop exercising and eating right. Because one thing that I've learned as a trainer and a coach is that people would exercise because there's something they have to do, right?
Wow.
But
Okay.
exercising shouldn't be something you have to do. Think about it as exercise is something that you want to do
Right.
so you can be the best version of you,
Yes, ma'am.
you know? And so I tell people all the time, I'm not in love with working out, but I work out because I like the results. I like to be able to get into that little black dress. I like to
Yeah.
be able to have nice legs. I like to
Okay.
be able to feel good and have energy. So I do it because of that, not because I love getting on the treadmill or I love
Wow.
lifting weights. Although you can see from behind, I used to be into weight training a lot. I was a bodybuilder in my
Okay.
years. But now I'm trying to be wiser and more intentional about what I do with my training and my nutrition.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the weightlifting bodybuilder. How did you get into that field?
Well, it's a strange story. I was in the military. I retired from the military 26 years, and I was stationed in my first place in Augusta, Georgia. And I used to be a gymnast, so I was always used to being active. And when I got to that post, I was bored. I didn't know what to do, and so I decided to walk into the gym, and ran into this guy who was a power lifter, and he said he wanted to start training women to bodybuilding. So I said, "Oh, I have nothing to do," and he's like, "Well, I don't have anybody to train." So we got
Wow.
together and he started training me. And after the first contest, I fell in love with that feeling of being strong. You know,
Right.
back in the day, a lot of women didn't want to have muscles, didn't want to look like a man. Now, nobody wants to look like a man. I mean, well, there are some women who want to look like a man, but I didn't want to look like a man. I just wanted to be shapely and muscular. And that's what weight training taught me. And it
Okay.
still teaches me today that weight training is actually more important for women than they realize. And so I could
Wow.
lift as heavy as possible and I would never get big and bulky. I would just know that if I wanted to move my couch, I could move it.
Wow. Wow. You did
But
it yourself. Okay. Okay.
it was a lot of fun doing weight. I used to compete. I competed from like 1989 to 2003. And I was an all natural competitor. And I even was able to win the Miss Hawaii all natural bodybuilding competition in 2000. And that was really exciting for me.
Wow. So you won competitions. How many competitions have you won? Do you keep count still?
I don't keep count, but maybe 15, I think.
Wow. Okay. 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 You up there. You up there. So now you bodybuilding. Now you talk about health. What is the importance and how did you get on the importance of health to help other people?
Well, I got into personal training originally because I wanted to show other women how powerful and exciting it was to use weights. Because probably when you go in the gym, a lot of times you see a lot of women on the cardio machine. Tell me if that's
Right.
not true. They're on the elliptical, they're on the
Yeah, they're on the
bicycle, they're on the
treadmill. Right.
treadmill, and like they're afraid to get to the weights. Like if they go to the weight area, they can just pop up, boop, 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 or
Right.
something like that. But it's not going to happen. So I got into into personal training to train women, and then I started training guys a lot more. And I just trained everybody that I could because it was a challenge. As a matter of fact, one of the things that used to trip me out was that because as a personal trainer, you know skills and techniques and how the body works and what doesn't. So I would
Mhm.
get these big guys, that want to train, that want to get more muscular or defined, and I would tear them down with just a 10-pound set of dumbbells
Wow.
because of the techniques that I would use. And I'd be like, but because they'd come to me like, yeah, what can you do? You can't do anything to me.
Right,
And
right,
so,
right,
but
right.
but I got away from that a little bit because as a personal trainer, you see your client 1 hour in that day. But then what do they do for the other 23 hours of the day? Are they eating right? Are they following something intuitively? Are they living the lifestyle or are they just going to the gym? As long as they're going to
Wow.
the gym, they're good, right? But then I knew a lot of people weren't really paying attention to the other things that you need to do to be healthy and stay healthy. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
when I got into nutrition and I got into nutrition coaching. And I realized when you coach somebody, you're not telling them what to do. You're helping them to realize for themselves what they need to do and find the answers that work with their lifestyle. So as
Wow.
a coach, I would help people to find ways to now to create new habits so that they could be better and that they would be able to start living a lifestyle that included eating better or moving more or sleeping better or stretching, because there's so many things involved in a healthy lifestyle. you know
Right.
Sleep, a lot of people don't pay attention to how important sleep is, and you as an entrepreneur, you probably don't get a lot of sleep,
Not at all. Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Not at
So
all.
all those kind of things are important. That's what I love about the coaching aspect. And so that's where I am. That's my forte right now.
So you said something just a minute ago, and you were saying how your mindset. We talk about mindset here at 180 Life. So you're telling me that getting into shape, you have to change your mindset all the way around.
That's the first thing. That is the
Mm.
first thing you need to change, because, okay, people think about motivation for doing things, right? But motivation doesn't make you do anything. The real thing that makes you change is the action that you take. First, you need to take an action. And then when you take an action, you see a result. And when you see the result, then you get motivated by that result. But in order to take an action, you have to decide in your mind, this is what I want to do. And
Yeah, yeah,
most often people try to decide on the biggest thing to do, and then they end up doing nothing because that seems like too big of a mountain. Well, I got to get over this huge thing, but it's a
right,
huge mountain. But
right.
we can't tackle big things like that. We need to consider, what is the smallest thing that I can do right now in my mind that won't be so taxing, that'll start me on the road to my success. And so when I start with the client, I start with where their strong points are. What are you doing now that is good? What are you doing now that helps your lifestyle? What are you doing now that you want to work on a little bit more? So we start with that awareness. And really, do you really even want to change? Because sometimes, we talk the game, but we
Right.
don't really want to do the things to make it happen. So you
Wow.
have to you have to be in that place. I've talked to many people and say, "Oh, I want to be a bodybuilder." It's like, do you really want to do the things that are necessary to be a bodybuilder? And then when you start telling them what is involved, they're like, maybe not.
Right.
And it's all about the mindset. Whatever you can conceive in your mind, your body can achieve.
So have you gotten like clients that have come in and you can tell that they're not motivated?
Oh
Like,
yeah, oh yeah, because you'll tell them, well, you're gonna need to work on improving your nutrition. Like, well, I don't want to change how I eat. Okay, well, you're gonna have to get a little more active. Well, I don't want to do anything. Well, you're gonna have to get more. You know,
right.
you're gonna work with somebody who doesn't want to do it. It's like, okay, well, this is not something for you right now. Come
Right.
back when you really have a deeply rooted reason for why you want to do what you want to do.
Wow. Wow. Good evening, Dr. Cynthia J. Hickman. They are coming in, they are leaving there. Somebody said yes, facts. Yes, facts. All right, if you're just tuning in, we have Miss Delsina West out of Central Texas. She is a nutritionist. I can say nutritionist.
Well, right now, my new title,
Okay, new
I'm a
title.
wellness practitioner. So I'm actually at the top of my game when it comes to wellness and coaching and nutrition. A
Okay,
wellness
okay, okay.
practitioner, yes. Well, you
That's
can call
one
me
that's
a coach,
won
a
many
nutrition coach.
titles for bodybuilding. We won. She said just a little 26, just 26, 27. Nobody's keeping count. Bodybuilding. And she is an author, a new
Yes,
author
yes.
of The Sexy Senior Citizen. You can see that over on Amazon. So you said your motivation was your grandmother with The
Mhm.
Sexy Senior Citizen. So do you think that it runs in your DNA that not because you said she didn't want, she said she wasn't old. So
No.
you said you're not old, you're the sexy senior citizen. So is it in your DNA to stay young forever?
Well, I will tell you this. We do have a longevity gene in our family. because, like I told you, my grandmother's about to be 98, and she lived by herself till she was 96. And she
Oh,
just
wow.
now recently moved in with my mother. And my great grandmother didn't die till she was over 100.
Oh, wow.
So people do live long in our lives, but they also tend to have a healthy mindset. You know, when you stay active, when you take care of your body, when you get good sleep, you are extending your life. You know, you're doing the things to be around longer. And God didn't intend us to come on this earth to find a couch and turn on Netflix and just go for hours at a time, right?
Right.
God intended for us to get here and do things and be a part of society. So I think I'm unless a car hits me or a bus runs me over or something like that.
Okay. No, we don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen.
I will always continue to do the things to try to be healthier. And it's not just a matter of being healthier, but as we get older and our and I think you're probably a little younger, right? But once we
Just
get
a little
over
bit. Just a
just
little
a
bit.
little bit, once we get over 40, and maybe even some people before that, you start feeling a lot of aches and pains. You
Over
know,
30. Over 30. I say 30.
or 30. Yeah, you start feeling aches and pains. You know, it takes a little longer to get out of bed. You
Yeah.
know, you start feeling your lower back hurt and your knee hurts and your hip hurts. And, you know, all these kind of things start happening because your body is trying to tell you, hey, listen, there's something not going on right. So it's time for you to do something about it. And a lot of us
Wow.
ignore it, or we go to take a lot of pills and medications. I used to be on a lot of medications. I'll tell you a story. When I was younger, like when in my bodybuilding days, I used to say to myself, you know, I don't want to be one of those old people who looks on the side of their dresser and they have a whole bunch of pills.
Right.
Well, one day I woke up and I looked in the side of my dresser and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm one of those old people. I got a whole bunch of pills. Taking all kinds of pills. And a lot of it had to do with like I told you, I retired from the military after 26 years, and I have degenerative joint disease. So I have actually I've had my, I have a cut through here because I've had my spine fused of my C6, 5, 6, and 7. I have my right shoulder replaced. I have my left hip replaced, my right knee replaced. I have pins in my feet, and I have arthritis in all my joints.
Wow.
And
And it still wears stilettos like it ain't nothing. And
I
it still
still
wears
wear the
stilettos like it ain't
stilettos.
nothing.
That's right. I would go to my graveyard with my high heel shoes on.
Okay.
But I was
Okay.
these things were compounding for a long time, and I started thinking, you know, I know about nutrition, I know about foods, I know about exercise. Why am I not applying it to myself? But if there anybody out there in the audience who've ever had a knee replacement or a joint replacement, when you have that kind of stuff, it really can set you back because you feel broken. You feel like you can't do anything you used to do. You feel handicapped. You know, you start just decreasing your level of physical activity. You start eating all kinds of crap, and you really get out of shape. And imagine having one of those major surgeries every year for 5 years in a row. That's what happened to me. Every year I was having to have a joint replaced. And I talk about it in my book and how I kind of overcame that. But then I was taking all these medications because, doctors want to give you a pill for everything.
Right.
And I realized, food can be your medicine. So then I started taking the time to retransform my body with nutrition. When I was a bodybuilder, people think bodybuilders are super healthy, but we're not that healthy. We just really dialed down the foods that to make our muscles pop out. But bodybuilders aren't good at running. They're not good at flexibility. They don't need, so there's a lot of issues. But in this stage of my life, I needed to eat so that so I could avoid medication. I needed to eat so I could sleep better. I needed to eat better so that I could feel better. So I transitioned how I ate in
Wow.
order to decrease the amount of medication that I take. I used to take Motrin almost every day, and
Wow.
Celebrex and all these other kind of medications. And then I started changing and eating more green leafy vegetables, for your audience, eating lots of green leafy vegetables are a great way to decrease inflammation. And when I started making a conscious decision to do that, I stopped taking Motrin. I stopped taking Celebrex. A lot of my pains were going away. I was making sure to eat more green foods, because most bodybuilders, they'll eat a lot of protein. You hear about
Right.
the protein shake and a lot of eggs and a lot of things. And there's nothing against that, but we're eating for a different result, right?
Right.
And so then as your body transition, as your life transitions, you need to now eat for a different result. Before I would eat because I wanted to be lean and striated. Now I changed my diet because I want to have less pain. I want to have good, clear skin. I don't want to have a big, giant belly either. So, and working on that. So the foods that I eat, I'm very conscientious of it so that I can avoid having pain. Because if you like anybody knows out there, having a lot of joint pains and aches is hard, and it's definitely not sexy.
Well,
So, you can't be lifting around and talking about, oh yeah, I'm sexy. No, you're not. So today as a matter of fact, I was feeling a little bit of aches, and I started realizing how I just kind of do a mental analysis. How have I been eating the last couple of weeks or the last week? And I realized I kind of strayed away from my diet, and I've been kind of just eating a lot of crazy things. And my body starts telling me by showing me, waking up with some pains, waking up with some joint issues. And if we start paying attention to our bodies and to ourselves and to our minds, we can make better decisions. We definitely can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Y'all shoot them hearts up, Miss Delsina West. Big shout out to Aunt Sheila Henry is on here. Good evening. She says congratulations. Dr. Cynthia J. Hickman says outstanding. She also says so true. Action and activities is important as we age in place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so I had a couple people write in and give me a couple of questions. So I did get a couple questions for you.
Okay.
They say, what time of day is best to work out?
That's a good question. Before, I used to say it doesn't matter whenever you get a workout, but actually for women who are premenopause, perimenopause, or in menopause, it's actually better to work out in the daytime because your cortisol levels are higher. I don't want to get too technical, but your cortisol levels are higher, which allow your body to have more energy to do the working out. And so you want a good time. Your cortisol levels are the highest at around 8 o'clock in the morning, somewhere between 6 and 8 in the morning. And so for women who are over 40, premenopause or in menopause, you get a better result from working early in the morning. Now, with that being said, if you can't work out in the morning, don't just not work out.
Right.
Whatever time you can get it in on a consistent level is the most important time to do it.
Man, listen, y'all asked for me to bring some professionals on the show, and I went and got them. They here. She is here in the building giving y'all she giving y'all the nuggets. Y'all better tune in, hit that share button, screen record, tell your friends about it. Okay, so one more question. It says, should I do strength training, cardio, or both?
Okay, so is it from a female?
This is from a female.
Okay, so I would highly recommend if you have to choose between cardio or weight training, do the weight training first, and do the weight training consistently because weight training will last with you for a long time. When you change your muscles, that changes your metabolism, your energy level, your strength, and your overall capabilities and movement throughout the day. And then you can actually then get your cardio later on in the day if you to like walk 10 minutes in the morning, walk 10 minutes at lunchtime, walk in the evening, catch up some other way, or even do it, later in the evening. But weight training is most critical for women because we lose about a pound of muscle every year. And then we tend to gain more fat. So we end up looking all squishy and wobbly and, we got all kinds of jiggly parts hanging around that we don't want. So weight training is going to help to take care of that.
Okay. So then they ended it with, how long should my workouts be?
If you know exactly what it is you're going to do, I would recommend, and this is a lot of the training that I'm taking right now for women who are over 40. Your workout shouldn't be longer than an hour. Now, if you're doing weight training and cardio, about an hour and 15, 30. You don't want to train so hard that it stresses you out. If you get stressed out too much because your training is too heavy and you're always sore and you're not able to recover, what that does is it actually will raise it will affect your hormones, and then your recovery will be poor. And if you can't recover, you can't go back to training. So for me personally, what I do is I try to do a 20 to 30-minute weight training workout, but I know specifically what I'm going to do. It's not like I'm waiting around and walking around and talking to the next person. It's like exercise, 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 right? With I have 60-second rest in between. And then if you are short on time, do 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, but you want to make it high intensity, at least 2 to 3
Wow.
times a week.
Wow. Wow. Y'all getting the nuggets right here, the nuggets today. So, Miss Delsina West, author, public speaker, you see it on your screen, the sexy senior citizen. Make sure that you go over to Amazon. Give them your website one time, Miss West.
All right, the website is, of course, www.dwestcoaching.com. And you can get some background information about what I do and the type of training that I do. And also, you can get some information on my book and several other things that I have. I have some free resources on the website, too. And if you have any issues or questions, just let me know. I do public speaking because I love to motivate women and give them that, and men and women, give you that nugget that makes you say, yes, I can. Because too often we say, no, I can't, or I don't have the time, or how am I going to do it? But I like to talk to people and show them, yes, you can. Every little thing that you do towards your goal is a step in the right direction. And I like to help to show you that.
Wow. Well, we're gonna talk about goals, guys, in just a minute. We're gonna get on goals. I like where that was going. Listen, guys, you guys do know that I don't know if she has it on her website as well, but we know we have it on 180 Life and on Amazon. Make sure that you go get your copy of 180 Life Enterprise Magazine. Miss Delsina, you look so beautiful on the cover. You graced it very, very good. Gave us a beautiful story on the inside, a little bit about her and what she has going on. Guys, make sure you get your copy. Get your copy. All right. So speaking on goals, that does bring us to our topic of the day. But can you give 3 golden nuggets on people that are trying to achieve goals? This year was big. I don't know where, if it was big with you guys, but it was big everywhere I turned. It seemed they were having dream board meetings or parties, or everybody was setting a goal. And they were like, it was turning into something like really, really big on like dream boards. So for people that are trying to reach their goals, what are 3 things that you would give them to go after it?
Okay, so one of the first things is, first, you need to have a goal. And you don't need to limit your goal based on your current capability. Because a goal needs to be something that is bigger than yourself. Because you don't know, because our God is bigger than us. So you've got to dream big and set a goal. Second, when you set that big goal, act small. And what I mean by acting small, say your goal is to write a book, right? Writing a book to something, it can be something that people think this is just humongous. This is something I can't accomplish. This is going to take forever. But acting small could be setting yourself on a timer every day at 12, and I'm going to write 50 words to my book. That's a small act. But if you do that every day, before you know it, you have chapters and, pages and pages. And before long, you'll have a book. So whatever your big goal is, set it and make it audacious. But your second step is to act small. Take the smallest step consistently every day. And then the third thing that I would say with your goals is to pray about them and really ask God to continue to keep you on that road. I have to constantly remind myself, because a lot of type A people like me, we're like, okay, I'm doing this, and we kind of get caught up in our own strength and our own capabilities, and we forget that there's a bigger picture out there. There's a bigger, what do I want to say? Well, there's just a bigger thing happening besides what we see in our own little world. Right. And so we need to be able to focus on that and just continue to ask God to help us manifest our goals.
Wow. Well, y'all send them hearts for Miss Delsina West. She's right here on the 180 show with us. She's hanging out with us for the hour. So let's talk about our topic of the day. A life lesson. You can be A, sitting, you took all the sticks, you made a help sign, you waiting on help to come get you off the island. Or you can be B. B, you can go and take those sticks, turn it into a raft, and then before you know it, you're like a boat. You make you a boat. So, seeing this picture here, Miss West, what goes through your head? It says victim mentality will get you killed. No one is coming. And then it says, hold on, let's see what it says. Hold on. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you.
So when you see this, what advice, what does it say for you?
Well, actually, it reminds me of a time when I had my shoulder replaced. I was having a lot of pain, and I had already had 2 other joints replaced, and I was feeling down on myself. And it was extremely painful and hard, the recovery. And all I kept thinking about was, I can't use my arm, I can't dress myself, I can't fix my hair, I can't cook food, I can't do anything. And I kept thinking about all the things that I couldn't do. I kept saying, I can't go to the gym, I can't work out, I need help for everything. And I was just constantly playing the victim about everything that I couldn't do. And that was lasting for weeks and weeks at a time. And then one day, I don't know where it came from, but suddenly I thought, well, you can't use your arm, your right arm, or was it left shoulder? Yeah, you can't use your left arm, but you have a right arm, and you have a leg, and you have another leg, and you can use those body parts to do other things. And it was just kind of stupid, because I was so focused on this one thing that wasn't working, I completely ignored everything else that was capable. Wow. So then I said, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to just see what I can do. And, just go. And I went to the gym. I was like, okay, I can do my leg workouts. Okay, I can do that. Okay, I can do some little things here and there. And then I started just kind of getting my spirits back up. I started feeling motivated again. I started feeling like, okay, I am more capable than I am incapable. Because for me, being physical is life. So, when we get immobile, when I wasn't able to do what I needed to do, I felt like everything was just useless, not worth anything. But I had to realize and start thinking about the positive things and start making choices towards what could I do, what can I do versus what I can't do. And I talk about that in my book, because a lot of times we don't do things because we're too busy focusing on what we can't do. I can't write, or I can't go to the gym, or I can't cook healthy meals, or I can't, make new friends, or I can't network, or I can't, whatever it is. We're always thinking about what we can't do. If you were thinking about all the things you couldn't do, would you think you would have a magazine after almost 2 years now? Of course not, right? Yeah. You have done so much because you keep pushing. What can I do? What is it that I can do? If I can't do this, can I do that? If I can't do that, can I do this? And we always got to be thinking about what it is we can do. And when we focus on that, you'd be amazed at how much we can accomplish.
Wow. That's crazy that you say that, because my team knows that it's been a rough week. The last 7 days have been like crazy bananas with us. And it's like, I keep telling myself, okay, just because we get a no here doesn't mean we'll get a no forever. And it always comes to a mindset. Again, it goes back, like you said, I love that you're using choices and mindset, because I was talking to the young people the other day, and I told them, when your mindset changes, that's when things will begin to change. Once you change your mindset and so when you changed your mindset after your surgery, how long did it take for really the healing process of did you realize that you started healing faster?
I think so, yeah, because once I started doing one thing better, then I started thinking about, okay, well, let me eat a little bit better, and let me
Yeah.
try to not stress so much, because when we stress, our blood pressure goes up and our heart rate goes up. All those other things start happening, and then I just started thinking about what I want to do when I get better, where I want to go shopping when I get better, what outfit do I want to put on when I get better, and
Right.
all these kind of things. So, but it's still, when you have a joint replaced, it can take quite a long time. I think my shoulder might have taken the longest to completely heal. Maybe it was about almost a year before I was fully, completely functional. As a matter of fact, if I sit here, I'm kind of leaning, so I'm trying to
Yes,
adjust
ma'am.
myself,
Yes, ma'am.
balance myself out a little bit. But and I can fall into that victim mentality, or I could have fallen into that victim mentality after every single major replacement. I mean,
Wow.
most people just have one joint replaced, right?
Right.
But I'm practically bionic woman here,
Wow.
and it was my mindset. I had to keep telling myself, okay, it's just this one thing. You can get over it. Just do the things you need to do every day. Do the little exercise, even if it looks stupid, it feels like nothing's happening. The physical therapy that their doctors tell you. A lot of
Wow.
people don't do their physical therapy because they think it's it's not a big deal, but you'd be surprised that one little thing you do leads to another thing, and leads to another thing, and leads to another
Wow. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it all goes to your mindset and your change. So, being a public speaker and now an author, you're doing your book signing. You're doing a book signing. We got a book signing coming up. Give us
Yes.
the dates and the times one more time.
The book signing is going to be on the 21st. It's by invite only. So if you would be interested in coming, and I'm in Killeen, Texas, send me a DM, and then I can send you a private invite. We're going to be reading some portions of the book, and we're going to have a great spread. It's going to be really elegant. I hope you can make it too.
I will be. I will be there. It is in my calendar. I think they're trying to make sure that I get there on time. That's my only situation, because I told them, I was like, we can't be late showing up, but it is in the calendar, so I will be in attendance. Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. We have a program set out and everything. There's going to be music and laughter and some adult beverages and some gifts and stuff like that. So it'll
Yes,
be good.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We definitely thank you so much for everything that you're doing. All right, if you could motivate somebody that keeps getting those no's, because I know with times in the military, bodybuilding, public speaker, and I tell people, being a public speaker, you go and you get a lot of no's before you start getting booked. People think they say, "Oh, I can be a motivational speaker," and then they think they're gonna get booked everywhere, and that's not how it works. But for the people that like are getting no's right now, I tell people you might get no's right now, but it won't be no forever. What would you tell them?
You got to think about the reason why you want to do it. Wanting money only, because all of us can get into this trap. Well, I want to do this because I want to be rich and famous, or whatever the case is. Well, when that's your motivation, that can easily get knocked down. But if you have a motivation that's stronger than, if your why is really huge, like, I really want to get out there and put out the message to women in particular that once we get over 40, once we get over 50, 60, 70, it's just the beginning, as long as that's what you want it to be, and that it can be easy to do. Because I've done it, and I was almost in that trap of not thinking that I was able to. And it's something I just want to tell everybody. I think I have a mission, and I have a responsibility to help other women to be the best version of themselves. And that is what keeps me going. So if your mission and your vision is really honest and empowering other people, and it has to do with something that's going to benefit society, and that you know what you have to say or what you have to do is going to be better for every people all around you, then you got to keep going. You can't stop, because
Right.
it's like if you were the only person in a desert with a jug of water, and you know that other people needed that water, you can't just stop because you came across somebody and you go drinking your water. you, can't, you can't stop because, it's like, well, I don't know if anybody's going to want this. It's needed. You have to get out there. You have to spread it. You have to get that message out there. So no matter how many no's you get, it doesn't matter, because you got to get through all those no's as soon as possible. Just get them over with. Get them over with, because the yes is surely behind. So you get a no, you're like, okay, good, I got you off my list. Move on to the next one. You got a no, okay, no problem. I got that one off my list. Let me move on to the next one. And that's got to be your driving force. It's just got to be your driving force. I ask myself all the time, why do I keep doing this? I don't have to coach. I don't have to speak. I don't have to write this book. But something in my mind, when I'm in the late hours in my bed, is like, I'm thinking about what else I can do. What other thing can I do? Who else can I talk to? What else can I add to this? And I'm like, shut up. Why are you doing this? Right. But it's something that drives you internally, And right now I am doing the wellness program for Advent Hospital in Killeen, Texas. So I'm managing the wellness program for entire hospital, and for the city of Killeen, I've created a new program that I hope will help to ease and alleviate poverty, of food insecurity in some of our food deserts. And I don't have to go to the lengths that I'm doing, but I feel it's such an important mission that it just drives me to keep going. Yeah. It just drives you. So if you have something that continues to drive you regardless of the obstacles, then you have to do it. You have to do it.
Wow. You got me over here teary-eyed, because if I told you about my week, it just would be like, but I dream this all night. I sleep it. I wake up in the middle of the night and I go straight to my office and just type and just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And, like you said, I'm 2 years in a magazine, and I'm, and all the time, and I'm still on the contract for one more year. And I'm like, man, do I start booking for that next year? I don't know if I want to keep doing this, because it's harder than what people think. It's harder than it's talking to people and dealing with different attitudes and dealing with different mindsets. It's harder than what people think. And I just, I think that one was for me. So I appreciate you.
You got to keep going, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. It is not easy. It's easy to go to a job and clock in and get your check. That's easy. But to be an entrepreneur, sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people work with you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people rip you off, sometimes they don't. But something inside of you just keeps driving you, because there's it's like almost like the Holy Spirit is just guiding you. It's like, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Somebody needs to hear what you have to say. Somebody needs to see what you have to produce. Somebody's got to be touched by what you're doing. So, sometimes you take a break if you need to, cry if you need to. Every time that I was told that I had to get a joint replacement, it would tear me down, because I would think, oh my gosh, what else is breaking down my body? And I would cry. Big boohoo tears, but I would only let myself do that for a 24-hour period.
Yes, ma'am.
And after that 24-hour period, I have to say, okay, all right, this is the consequence. This is what has to happen. Now, how do I deal with it?
Right.
Just get up and just figure out, how do I deal with it? What am I going to do?
Yes, ma'am. Wow. Y'all make some noise. Miss Delsina West in the building, dropping those nuggets, letting us know. Okay, so we got some comments. Someone told me that just yesterday. Me too. No one is interested in being proactive. So the proactive caregiver advocate is on the line. Like Miss West said, you got to just keep going after it. And I believe that to be true, because I feel like after a year of the magazine, it stopped being about money. for me. Like, I wasn't getting paid. I don't get paid that much for the magazine right now, And it was like when I stopped being like, oh my God, I gotta sell 1,000 magazines. And oh my God, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I need to do, and once it started being more about the passion, I really want people to, have good stories. I really want to showcase people. I really want to meet new people. I really want to teach people about networking. And then I believe that's when God opened doors for me. And it was then that my photography took off, and this one took off, and that one took off. And so I don't want to just talk about me. I do want to talk about networking though. And I tell people the importance of networking because let's speak about me and your network, for example. I tell people your network will depict your net worth. That's our slogan. That's what I believe.
It is true.
And I tell people when you're an entrepreneur or a public figure, if you're selling candles at this point, you can sell grass. Who knows? You got to get out there and reach others. Being a personal trainer, being a coach, being a public speaker. How important is networking to you?
I hate to say it, but networking is almost like a job. Because believe it or not, I like to think of myself as an introvert. I'd like to get a nice book and be on my own and sit on my back porch, enjoy the warm weather. But I know if I am going to sell more books or if I'm going to get more speaking engagements, that I have to talk to other people. People have to know what I'm doing. It's not just going to happen in this closed environment. And we think that social media only is going to get us what we want, but it's not. I mean, you can have 20, 30, 100,000 likes, but those likes don't put any dollars in your pocket. So when you network and you meet people who can introduce you to others or elevate you to another status, that is value. That is gold. Wow. That is gold.
The great thing is, shout out to Dr. Carrie Ann Zamora. I definitely got to give her a shout out. Shout out to Dr. Carrie Ann Zamora.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm gonna tell you guys this story, and everybody knows I'm transparent. So I was working with Dr. Carrie Ann Zamora. She's always been. It's never about her. She writes. She puts on great productions, and I'm like, it's about you. And she's like, no, it's about everybody else. Well, long story short, she brought me in to do the red carpet at her play in Killeen. I think I was in Killeen that time.
Yeah.
I've been to 3 of them. I've worked 3 of them. And she had asked me to come in and do some work. And I never forget when I met you and you had walked in and I think you was with somebody and y'all was on your way to the restroom or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you got to come take a picture. Come over here. Let me tell you who I am. And she was like, I'm like, I'm Mr. 180. And it was just, we kicked it from there, Excuse me. We kicked it from there. And it just shows me that, first off, you got to keep showing your face. The first thing that I had to get over was showing up. I'll never forget when I met Dr. Carrie Ann. I'm just being transparent. I didn't feel like I fit in, I was like, I don't wear suits and, y'all got Dr. Cynthia J. Hickman. I've met all these and I never would have thought in a million years these doctors would know little old Mr. 180. And it was like, okay, then when I got there and meeting you and meeting some other people, and it's like, wow. And you was like, I'm impressed. I'm gonna call you. And you hear that a lot, when you're out and I worked a lot of events and you hear people call you. And it was crazy. Monday, she called me and was like, hey, what you doing? Give me the website. How's it going? I like what I see. Even giving me pointers. Hey, I think you should do this. Hey, let me do the blog. And it was like, then you introduced me to other people. And it was like, wow, just showing people that networking can get you here, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just showed up. I showed up and I just, like I tell people, I remember when I was in high school, man, he's so loud. I go places now. Man, he's so loud. I get paid to be loud. I get paid a lot of money to be loud. And it's just been a blessing that me just being me,
Yeah,
me just being me,
that's important.
runs into you and just the network and the bond. You know, she like an aunt to me, y'all. You know, I can be like, that's my big sister because I'm like a lot. She like an aunt, invited me into y'all's home. And I appreciate you and your husband for everything, like for real.
Oh,
In my daily life.
I'm glad because first when I was seeing the stuff and I was making some recommendations, I was like, I hope you don't get mad at me for giving him these pointers. But I was like, I want this guy to succeed, so I want him to look the best and be the best that he can be. So if I know anything that can help him, I want to give him
Yes,
give him that input. And so I'm really proud to see how you're going, and I want you to keep on going. I know it's going to get challenging because
yes,
that's
ma'am.
how it is, but that's I think this is the point that a lot of times we get to that point where it seems like it's so hard and you want to quit, but
Yeah,
at that quitting point, that is like the top of the mountain. If you can just get right over that,
yeah,
then you find that success that you almost didn't get
yeah,
because you're thinking about I'm gonna quit. This is
yes,
just
ma'am.
too hard,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
you just gotta keep pushing. And I'm talking to myself too. You just
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
pushing. It'll happen. It'll
And
happen.
that's been the last couple weeks. Is like, okay, you know what? We're gonna just stop. We're gonna just leave it where it's at. But then for me, like I tell people, the whole name just tells the story. Why I took out the I and put in the Y. I had to stop living for I. I can quit because I'm upset, or because I didn't get my way, or because I. But if I quit, I'm forgetting about the why. Why did I even start this journey? You know, I got a son. I don't want him to, oh, it gets hard, you quit. And I want him to understand that his dad's legacy. And, oh, okay, look, this is what we did. Build something for the family, you know? And so definitely into networking, definitely into, you be motivating me. I was reading the story, motivating me, and I told my assistant, I was like, okay, I gotta start working out. I gotta get rid of the stomach. She up there. I can't go to the gym with you yet. Not yet. I
Well,
can't
hey,
get you
I'm doing a
there.
little old lady workout now, so don't worry about it. I'm doing
Nuh-uh, nuh-uh,
I'm doing a senior citizen workout.
I still can't. You probably your senior citizen might not match my. I'm only 33. I'm trying to. You hear me breathing? You were talking earlier. I was like, man, my breathing. Excuse me, my bad. That's why I wear black. You can't see all the
I'll do
look.
some cardio.
The crazy thing is because me and my son we started walk. Well, he's not walking, but
Yeah, I'm
um,
like, how you walking with?
well, I walk him. I put him
Oh,
in the
you
kangaroo sack.
stroller. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't do him in the stroller. I put him in the kangaroo sack,
Okay.
and when I put him in the kangaroo sack, and he's pushed me to walk. I think I've done 5 miles in the last four
Oh,
days. So
nice.
he's pushing me to start walking and really because that's how he stops crying. Between that and like, okay, hey, I gotta be in shape to make sure I'm alive for when he gets bigger to play
That's
catch.
right. That's
And
right. You got a
that's the
bigger
thing.
legacy behind you, and so you need to be around to see it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's crazy that we spoke on goals because me and my wife, we wrote down our end goal, the end goal of marriage, of this whole thing that we call life.
Yeah.
And I remember when we agreed, the end goal was to sit on the back porch and watch our grandkids run around the yard, you know.
Oh, look at
And
that.
so that's the end goal. We can get upset, but guess what? We ain't got the yard and the grandkids yet. Yeah,
So you got
we
to keep
gotta
going.
live that. So, and that was the same thing with the company. I went to a conference for setting a vision and setting it up. What is the end goal for my company?
Mhm.
I think when I was interviewing with Jay Holiday, he said his end goal was to travel the world and be nominated for a Grammy. And once he got
Mm.
nominated, that's why, hey, he's not bothered on. So I tell all my listeners now, set up your end goal. Dr. West is telling you, set your goals up. Go do your, man, we
Mm.
appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. if you're not following her, let them know where they can follow you, where they can find you.
Yeah, go to my IG. If you go to my IG account, you look for D West Coaching. You see my picture up there, and on Facebook, it's also D West Coaching. Try to keep it a little simple. And so I want you to go ahead and like and get me over on the number of people there. I never worry too much about how many people that have likes because, like I tell you, the likes aren't necessarily gonna put money in your pocket, but I'd rather have quality than quantity. I can go on my Facebook account. I have like 1.4 thousand people that follow me, but I go through my friend list and I know all these people. I know this person, I know that person. I can remember that person. It's not just faces that are on the page,
Right. Yes, ma'am. I definitely understand. All right, everybody, we're not gonna hold y'all long, but y'all know we gotta pay a couple of these bills. So we're gonna go through this really, really fast. Okay, Miss D West gonna be here. We gonna go through a couple of these real fast. Y'all know today's broadcast is brought to you by Miss M's Extravaganza Vendor and Fashion Show. Your boy, yours truly, will be the host with the most in November the 11th, 2023. If you would like to get a vendor spot, you would like to get your fashion on the runway, all you got to do is hit me up, hit Miss M's up. It's the second annual Boss Up Extravaganza. Listen, you can get on the front of 180 Life Enterprise Magazine. You can get on the front of 180 Life Enterprise Magazine. All you have to do is go to 180life.com. Go ahead and drop a note in the comments, and hey, we can get in contact with you. Every Sunday, we are here live with Vibing with Ange, with your host, Coach Ange. Summer 2023, it starts on Sunday, 7 p.m. You already know where to be. You already know what time it is. You already know what it is. Look, if you have not gotten your subscription of 180 Life Enterprise Magazine, you see all those covers coming on the front of your screen. You make sure you go over to 180life.com. Get your subscription today. Listen, we thank y'all so much for tuning in with us. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. I got a couple commercials to end out with. Miss Delsina, you got anything else to tell the people?
I just want to tell people that take it one day at a time. Every day, make it a day that makes a difference for the rest of your life.
Wow. I like that. One day at a time, make a difference for the rest of your life. Listen, I'm your host, Mr. 180. This is Miss Delsina West. Thank you so much for coming and rocking with us. Thank you so much for gracing the cover of our wonderful international magazine. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for your motivation and your jewels today. Make sure y'all go get the book, Sexy Senior Citizen, available now on Amazon, all platforms. Make sure you go to D West Coaching on all social media platforms. All right, I'll see you next time, Miss West. Everybody else, listen, tune in. Check this out. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. 180, and you know we are live here in the 180 studios. I'm live with Mr.
Kavon Edmonds,
Keith Mitchell,
Daniel Skyhart McClain,
and we are After 7.
Listen, they have a hot new single called The Day.
featuring Stokely. Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up. Y'all make sure that y'all go download that on all streaming platforms. Danny, let us know what your social media is, man.
At After 7 Music, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, it's all the same. But to get them tickets for them shows and all that jazz, make sure you go to After 7 Music on Instagram. Can't miss it.
You can't miss it. Listen, y'all also gonna be the cover of 180 Life Enterprise Magazine. It's going down June 2023. Make sure that you set your clocks. You guys are coming back June the 1st, 7 p.m. Are y'all ready?
Are they ready?
Yes.
Are they ready or not?
Yeah.
Here they come. Listen, y'all make sure that y'all set y'all clocks. June the 1st, 7 p.m. They will be live here where you see them on Facebook and YouTube. Guess what? It's going down.